studied substances and the objects and how they are formed. Now this is part 3. We will study energy. Energy that is obtained from substances. Energy that is the capacity to do work is known as energy. If you have energy, then only you will be able to do work. Sometimes you fall sick, you get fever, you don't eat food, you take rest and you feel very weak. Then mother says you don't have energy, please eat something. That is how your mother or dad takes care of you, gives medicine and coaxes you to eat fruits and juices and nutrient that is needed by the body, milk, etc., so that you get energy and you are able to stand up, play a little bit, move around, and within few days you become again strong with full of energy. That happens every day. Whenever you feel sick, you feel low in energy. So, energy. Can you tell? We make useful objects from a variety of substances. Another use of substances is that we get energy from some of them. Not all substance give you energy, but some substance give you energy. What are those substances? We will study. There is a car. Its tank is full of fuel, but it does not move. Why is that? Fuel is there, engine is there, seat is there, steering is there, a driver is also sitting, but it is not moving because key is with you. You have not given him the key. He is just sitting there. Give him the key, he will ignite it by turning the key forward. Once the ignition takes place, the fuel which is injected into the engine burns. And when it burns, it produces a huge amount of heat energy in the chamber of the engine, in the cylinder of the engine. So that energy is used to move the piston, and piston moves your wheel of the car. When we have run a long distance, we feel tired. We have to stop. Why is that? Because when we take food, we get energy from the food, and that energy is available in our body, and that energy has been used for running long distance. So you have almost used your energy available for doing the work. For doing the work. So what is energy? Capacity to do work is known as energy. Capacity to do work is known as energy. But you have used all your energy. So your capacity to further run is not there. It is finished. So you take rest. You take a sip of juice or energy drink so that you can run further. Energy is required to do work. The capacity of a body to do work is called energy. When petrol or diesel burns in a motor vehicle, energy gets released. When the petrol is finished or if it stops burning, the vehicle too stops running. When something burns, energy gets released in the form of heat. You have learned that in our body too, energy is obtained by burning of certain substances. Many machines can be run using fuel. Coal, diesel, CNG, LPG, petrol are all substances from which energy is obtained in the form of heat. When we burn fuel, it burns and gives us heat and light. Light is not that much essential at that time, but heat is required for running the engine and machine. When a person or vehicle moves, heat energy gets converted into motion. Heat energy is when a person or a vehicle moves, heat energy gets converted into motion. Like you are running, you are in motion. You are walking. Again, energy is being used for walking. You are in motion. When you are sitting, you are not using energy at all, almost. You are using energy only for talking, digesting, and doing other small work. But when you are running, you consume lot of energy. Energy in the form of motion is called kinetic energy. See the spelling of kinetic. You must remember it. When you are in motion, you are having kinetic energy. Your book is giving only one form of energy, that is known as kinetic energy. But you have climbed up to the school on this third floor. You are feeling tired while climbing up. You have not come in the lift, na? Nobody will go into lift. You will use staircases. So when you are coming up, you feel exhausted when you reach up. Why it has happened? And now you are sitting comfortably, but there is some energy which has been stored into your body because of the position of your body at this time in the class. You are on third floor, your body is having some energy stored in the form of potential energy. There is another energy which is because of the position, that is known as potential energy. If you are allowed to go down on a pulley or some arrangement, you will need no energy to go down. You will just sit there and you will reach to the ground. That potential energy will be used to reach down on the ground floor. So your book is not talking of potential energy, but as you go in the upper class, in the 7th class, 8th class, 9th class, or 10th class, you will be taught energy is the combination of total sum of potential energy and the kinetic energy. So for the time being, you understand what is a kinetic energy. Energy in the form of motion is called kinetic energy. Remember the spelling of kinetic. What is the spelling of kinetic? Just tell me. Kinetic energy. So energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. 2. All moving things have kinetic energy. For example, when the wind blows, the windmill turns and sailing boats and clouds move from one place to another. This work is possible only because of the kinetic energy of the wind. So wind energy, this is called wind energy. Wind energy has got mostly the kinetic energy. Which other machines do you know use kinetic energy to do certain work? How do they get this kinetic energy? A ceiling fan. A ceiling fan is running. You are getting air. It is throwing air to your place. It is doing work. Who is doing work? The fan is doing work. And fan is getting energy from where to do the work? Capacity to do work is energy. That means fan is using energy. From where? Who can tell me? Tell me. Very good. Sit down. A ceiling fan, a mixer grinder, a water pump are all machines in which kinetic energy is used. They get kinetic energy from electricity. Electricity is also a form of energy. Find out what is the original source of energy from the electricity produced at a thermal power station. Anybody knows? Anybody knows? Tell me. Water. Okay. Who else? Anybody else? तो क्या करते हैं उसमें? Water, you pour water somewhere and the electricity is generated. He is saying thermal power station. Thermal means the one which is produced from the heat, thermal energy बोलते हैं उसको. What he is saying is also a form of energy, but I will explain you separately. For the time being, I am asking thermal power station. Thermal power station is the power station. Power means energy producing station, mainly the electricity. Electricity is a form of energy. It is produced from the coal burning. Coal is burned. When coal is burnt, what happens? Heat is produced. Fire is there. Fire means heat. Heat is produced and the water is boiled. Water is boiled. I told you when you boil the water, it gets converted into steam. Actually, it is water vapor in the beginning, but when you are boiling it, it is not remaining vapor. It becomes steam. It has got temperature much higher than the vapor. It is not only 100 degree, it goes superheated. Steam is there. To run turbines, that steam runs steam turbine. Turbine rotates, and when a thing rotates, it can be used as in the mechanical form to produce something which is electricity. When you rotate something in a field, it produces electricity. Okay, that you will be taught in the upper classes. So, thermal power station. What you are saying, the water is also a main source. It is a sort of substance that is used. Like in hilly station, you go to Lonavala. How many have gone to Lonavala? Even if you have gone, you may not have seen that there is a Tata Power Hydel. Hydel power is there. Means it is Hydel power means energy, electricity generated from the water, flowing water. It should have potential energy. That water should be at a height. It should have potential energy. When it flows down, its jet is there. That jet falls into a turbine. Again, turbine is there. That is known as water turbine. Here it was a steam turbine in thermal power station. Here it is a water turbine. Pelton wheel turbine, you will be knowing after some time. It rotates the turbine wheel, and that when it rotates, it generates power. When a thing rotates, it can generate electric power. So either you rotate something by a flowing water from the hills. That water is stored on the hills, so it has got potential energy. It gets converted into kinetic energy when it is flowing down, and it hits the Pelton wheel turbine. And when it hits the blade of the Pelton, or cups are there, it hits that, the wheel rotates, turbine rotates, and when it rotates, it generates power. So water also produces electricity, and the coal, after getting burned, boils the water, and that boiling water produces steam. It is further heated, it becomes superheated steam, and steam turbine is run to produce electricity. Okay. Next question. Use your brain power. What uses the heat or energy? What uses of heat energy do we see in our daily life? Heat energy क्या होता है? सुबह सुबह प्रेशर कुकर में मम्मी डाल के रखती है, कुछ तुम्हारे लिए फटाफट बनाती है ना, जल्दी हो जाता है. हीट है, गैस जलाते हैं ना, वो it burns and heat is produced, and the pressure combined with the heat used in a pressure cooker to cook fast. डेली लाइफ में हो गया, चाय बनाते हैं उसमें भी है. और कौन सा है? सोलर एनर्जी गर्म करता है पानी नहाने के लिए. गीजर कितने लोगों के घर में लगा हुआ है? हाथ ऊपर करो. वेरी गुड. डाउन. तो गीजर heat the water, and hot water you take bath. फ्रिज हीट करता है, कूल करता है. It cools. By using another method, it cools. There also, but that is also a sort of electricity is used there to cool the substances. Other form of energy. Other form of energy. We use several devices in which work is done using not heat but other forms of energy. For example, we use electricity to run the TV. In it, the electricity is converted into light and sound energy. Light and sound energy. अभी बरसात के दिनों में बादल घिरे रहते हैं और कभी कभी क्या होता है, बारिश नहीं हो रही होती है, बारिश आने के पहले जोर से आवाज आती है, कड़कता है, और कड़क के जब जोर से आवाज पड़ी तब तुमको लगता है कुछ हुआ है, लेकिन उसके पहले जोर से कुछ चमकता है आवाज आने के पहले, हमेशा ऐसा होता है? तो लाइट जनरेट हुई, कहां से हुआ? ये चीज इतनी जोर से आवाज आई, वो एनर्जी है, साउंड एनर्जी। लाइट भी आया, वो भी एनर्जी है। ये किधर से आया? ये जो बड़े बड़े बादलों के झुंड आसमान में डेवलप होते हैं, they rub each other or they rub with the atmospheric particles. There is a static energy that is generated on the surface, the whole lump of the cloud, and that static energy gets discharged when the two, one positive, one negative, they come together, they attract each other, the clouds keep on coming closer and closer, and when they come closer to each other, lump of clouds come closer, the discharge takes place from positive to negative, and that energy is released in the form of heat and light and sound. In a solar cooker or solar water heater, solar energy is used as heat to heat the water. Plants use sunlight to prepare their own food. In this process, energy from sunlight is stored in the food substances they make. These are the substances that burn into our body and give us all energy that we need for various purposes. When we burn substances like coal, mineral oil, the stored energy they contain is converted into heat energy. Sources of energy. Sources of energy. कहां से हमको energy मिलता है? We use various forms of energy such as heat, light, sound, electricity and kinetic energy to do different tasks. In today's world, our main sources for all these forms of energy are fuels and electricity. And to produce electricity, many power stations use fuels. These power stations generally, like coal, they burn coal, a lot of gas, धुआं निकलता है, ashes are there. They fly into the air and they spread around, causing lot of pollution. So electricity is not coming to you in the pure form. It is not a good thing from a thermal power station. So when we don't need electricity, don't use it. Switch off the fan, switch off the light. It is bad for the environment. Do you know stores of coal and minerals oil? So coal आता किधर से? Where from coal comes? How many know? There are coal mines under the ground. The coal is being extracted from there. Every day we dig it and bring into trucks to the thermal power stations, to other places where the coal is being used. So one day that will finish off. One day that will finish off. What else? Mineral oil, petrol, diesel that we get. This is all from the crude oil that is extracted out from the earth. One day this will also finish. Your children's children may not have it. Your children's children may not have diesel and petrol after 100 years or 200 years. Suppose your children live for 100 years, another children live another 100 years. In 200 years, we will not have coal as well as diesel and petrol, mineral oils. We will not have. It will finish off. So we have to get converted into non-conventional source of energy. Do you know? Next page, page number 103. There are batteries which produce electricity using sunlight. Huh? There is solar system cells are there. Photo cells, they are called photo cells. A panel is there which produces electricity. And sunlight is abundant. It will last for maybe millions of years. There are batteries which produce electricity using sunlight. They are called solar batteries. The heat of the sun, flowing water and wind do not get depleted. Huh? These are the things which will not be depleted. कौन से चीजें? Heat from the sun, flowing water, huh? Flowing water that is coming down from some height down below. Or in the sea also, the water is always on the move. Sea tide water also, sea tide causes water to move up, and from that also electricity can be produced. But these are the costly affairs. Besides, they do not cause pollution. लेकिन हमको सोलर एनर्जी से और ये विंड एनर्जी से या वाटर फ्लोइंग एनर्जी जो देने वाली सिस्टम है उससे कोई पोल्यूशन नहीं होता है. They do not cause pollution when used to produce electricity, but producing electricity by these methods is expensive. And in any method of electricity generation, resources from the environment have to be used. Hence, making a habit of using the minimum amount of electricity is necessary in today's world. Unnecessary, you should not use electricity. And also, the mineral oils like petrol and diesel, you should not use. When you can use cycle, bicycle, use cycle. If you just want to walk a little distance, walk. Don't use a scooter. Always remember, sunlight, wind and water are non-exhaustible sources of energy. They must be used to the maximum extent as alternative source of energy. Don't use coal. Don't use coal and mineral oils for producing electricity. So what we have learned today? We have learned that number one, every substance we see around us is made of minute particles. These particles are called, our Maharshi called it Pilav, and now it is called atom. Now it is called atom. Very small particles. We can make different objects from the same substance. Substances are in the solid form or liquid form or in the gaseous form. We call it state of substance. Substances are in the solid, liquid or gaseous state. The capacity of a body to do work is called energy. The capacity of a body to do work is called energy. I told you, na? The capacity to do work is known as energy. Remember it, this sentence. The capacity to do work is called energy. All moving things have kinetic energy. All moving things have kinetic energy. So presently you are not having kinetic energy. Why? Because you are sitting on a bench, you are not moving. Moving objects have kinetic energy. What energy do you have at present on third floor in the school classroom? I told you, potential energy. You have potential energy when you are sitting on third floor in a classroom, in the school. So, energy is sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. All moving things have kinetic energy. Various forms of energy such as heat, light, sound, electricity are used to do different kinds of work. Sunlight, wind and water are non-exhaustible sources of energy. So it was an important lesson where you have understood what is energy.